cryptocurrency came into my life about during the pandemic. Perfect time for me to, I had all this extra time on my hands from not having to go deal with my gym and, do all of the things a gym owner has to do that people don't see. They think it's, all any business. They think it's all, glitz and glamour and fun. And this how amazing, but they don't see the bookkeeping that you have to do, the marketing that you have to do, the people that come in and, my credit card got charged double. My credit card didn't get charged. I was supposed to put this on hold. I'm like, I got rid of all of that. So that's the cool part. And it gave me time back to really digest and invest in more knowledge. So I started just finding different YouTubes and turn my bedroom into YouTube University, and just started listening to, the fundamental facts of like what has been going on since 2009, since Bitcoin was first, the inception of it. And then how it's the growth of it over the course of the time till 2020, when I first started looking at it. And then I started investing a little bit in it because, a golden rule that we've been taught: if people don't pay, they don't pay attention. Meaning if you have something on the line and some money at stake, you're going to pay attention a whole lot more than if you didn't. So I started putting, investing a little bit of money, then a little bit more money, and looking at it as a long-term play. Most people in crypto, what their problem is they watch the charts do this. It's super volatile.
They're trying to buy low and sell high. And
yeah, and you can have different strategies. And I have built a couple of my own strategies throughout from other people's strategies. One is looking at it. When you invest, if you're looking at it as an investment, it's long-term. If you're looking at it as buy low, sell high, you're gambling.
Yep.
And that's okay. You just have to know what your strategy is, because after introducing many people to crypto, just to get in and start understanding that, they'll text me, oh, when do we sell? Oh, do we sell now? No, if you're going to do that, you buy low, you sell high. If it's down, you buy more if you believe in it and if you have the means to do so. But the easiest way I can explain, and I do explain to my clients about crypto, is I feel like I've already lived through this with the inception of the internet back in, the early 90s. At that point in time, people were like, oh, I'll never, or even email. Why would you email? Write a letter. No, you're going to email. You got to email. Learn how to email. Okay. And then it was the internet. Oh, that thing, what? The internet,
it's a
World Wide Web. It's a fad. Yeah. Then it was like store stuff in the cloud. I'm not putting anything in the cloud. Then it was apps. I'm not going to download apps, smartphones. I'm not going to have a smartphone. It just, the evolvement of it all just happened, whether you bought into it or not in your thinking. You were already buying into it because you were buying these phones, you were buying these computers, you're buying the internet, you're getting, all of these aspects of it. And it was blowing up and growing with or without you. And that's how crypto is. So that was the information part that was built on what they call Web 2.0. Was all of the websites and the ways to communicate what we're doing right here on Zoom and all of this. And what cryptocurrency is doing is bringing the monetary side to it, like how to exchange money without having to deal with banks. One of the main things, it's not just about money, because it's about giving money or buying and selling stuff. It's more than that, but just to that basic principle of it. When you have when you make money and you put it in the bank, or you're trying to do a bank transaction, they're not 24/7. They're not 365 days a week. If there's a holiday, if you're trying to do a transaction, say I want to buy, you have some property that you want to sell me up in Ottawa, and you got a little parcel of land. I want to buy that parcel of land for 10 grand. And I go to the bank on Friday, but they're closed on Monday as well. So I have to wait Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then again when they open on Tuesday to get my loan. Then they got to wait a few more days. I got to sign all this paperwork to get my money.
They have to process.
To get my money. I'm like,
and they always have their hand in it, right? There's always any transaction basically in human history has had a hand in it, taking fees. So they're going to take the middleman, right?
They're going to take their fees. They're going to ask you 1,000 questions, what you're going to do with your money, versus if, Joel has a crypto wallet and I have a crypto wallet and I want to send him, 10,000 US dollars or 10,000
that's a lot of Canadian dollars, 10,000 US dollars,
or
13,000 Canadian. Right? I'll take the US.
10,000 worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the other cryptocurrencies, and he takes that as form of a payment, which we all will at some point. So again, if you're on here like, I'm not going to do crypto, you will do crypto. You will do digital currency. And then what I learned through all of it, back from the banking side, so that's called decentralized finance. And then you have many different aspects of it, but they're called crypto assets. You're actually owning assets versus, just putting your hard-earned money into the bank and then it just sitting there. And guess what they're doing with your money? They're investing it in crypto and in other, platforms of investing your money. They're making all the money off of your money versus you putting your money into some of these other projects. So what's happening now is, again, this whole new internet that, that's being built basically is all being built on what's called the blockchain. The blockchain is just a ledger of everything, and anybody can look up and see what transactions are happening in real time, as well as, they're building, if anybody's paid any attention at all to, hasn't been living under a rock, Facebook turned to Meta. They'd renamed themselves to Meta. Meta is the metaverse. Metaverse is just another fancy name of saying, a virtual world. So with that, within that world, you're having, the VR and AR virtual reality.
We already have all the esports, and it's already here.
It's already here. It's already been building underneath our noses. We just haven't really realized it. Crypto.com arena just is what Staples Center here in LA used to be. Crypto.com arena came in, bought it. Now they have the naming rights for 20 years for $700 million. Okay. FTX arena. FTX is another exchange like crypto.com or Coinbase. FTX, they have FTX arena down in Miami, where the Miami Heat basketball play. No one even knows this. If you watch sports at all, in baseball, Major League Baseball during the World Series, the umpires had FTX on their lapel. The field umpires, they all had FTX. I Google it. I'm like, no way. Yes, they've struck a deal, the umpires union with FTX exchange. So you got FTX arena, that Major League umpires were in FTX, crypto.com arena, Coinbase, which is the number one US exchange, they're on the NASDAQ. They're traded on the New York Stock Exchange. They don't let
me help you with your point. The UFC just signed a major deal with crypto.com, and you see it watching yesterday. You see it in the corners.
Yeah. It's so, again, there's these things that are happening underneath our nose are big money plays. These aren't just like, these aren't advertisement plays. These are plays that are like here for ever, metaverse. Whatever you think about Mark Zuckerberg is your own opinion. What we will have to agree on, the guy's brilliant. he made a gazillion dollars off of, his mind, because he sees the future. What we don't see, he's been planning for, Oculus, which is the, one of the top brands for the VR play. Facebook bought Oculus 7 years ago. And at that point, no one really paid much attention. Well, now he's been building out this whole virtual reality world for the last 7 years. And that is just, so that's a whole nother side of it. It's just not trying to figure it out, just knowing that, it's going that way. And then you got, all the video games in the video game world, they're being built now on, on the blockchain and in the whole crypto space. So that's one space to really pay attention and look at. NFTs, everybody's, heard the word and the terminology. NFT, the easiest way to look at that is it's an asset that you actually own. And there's a ledger that says that Joel now owns, that artwork that's behind you. That could be an NFT. You actually own that piece. That's yours. You can buy it, sell it. You can sell it. You could loan it. You could trade it, but it's yours. It's like an autograph signature. That's an NFT of some form, but there's no real value to that. But if you actually own it and you're the one of a kind and you have a ledger that says it's yours, now there's value to that.
With the music world, scarcity and demand, I guess.
Yeah. So with all of it, it's just, being aware, pay attention, and just know that crypto is not a fad. It's not a phase. It's it's here to stay, and it's here to grow. I mean, if you look at, again, commercials or you got Matt Damon for crypto.com, you got Tom Brady for FTX, you got crypto.com in the corners of the UFC fights. You've got FTX on baseball. You've got, these are just signs for people to pay attention. And I say, follow the money. Follow the money. What's going on? You don't have to believe in it or completely understand it at this point. It doesn't matter. They're doing it with or without us. So pay attention to the trends and, the ease of use now to buy cryptocurrency is, you got MasterCard, Visa, you can buy it with, you can go on Venmo and buy it. You can go Cash App and buy it. You can, there's a million different wallets and platforms that you can buy cryptocurrency with. So
it seems kind of like counter to the point with the MasterCard and Visa, where the whole point is to try to get those people out of the transaction, right? And it's like, if people are using crypto instead of credit cards, they go out of business. And it's like, now they're buying the banks. It's like, we're trying to bypass the banks. Now the banks are getting into crypto and trying to bypass things. And then the credit cards allow you to transfer crypto, but I'm sure they must take a cut somewhere. Like, it's always,
there's fees.
They're trying to stay ahead of the curve,
They're trying to stay alive. They're seeing all of this, the transitions happening without them. And a lot of these bigger companies, what they do is they'll offer payment. Say you owe, $120 to your MasterCard. Well, now you can pay that payment with crypto instead of US dollars or Canadian dollars. You can use crypto to make those payments. Well, what they're doing, they're taking that money or that crypto and they're storing it. They're not giving it back out.
So I was going to say that's a positive sign that they believe like that they're actually investing in it.
Correct. Yeah. Well, and then you got one of the smartest men on the planet, Elon Musk, who just last year just purchased his first crypto, like he's just also now learning about it and really understanding and adopting it, So when you have players like Elon, players like Mark Zuckerberg, players like Mark Cuban, players like, you name the top, Tom Brady, some of the top people that they're in it, they're doing it.
They're not a bunch of dummies.
They're not. Guys. Yeah.
And you can Tesla, they accept purchase of a Tesla in crypto, right?
Yeah. Well, actually they rescinded that to you can buy Tesla accessories. So there's like 3 different things that you can buy, mirrors and like a mini
baby steps.
Yeah. Well, it's just, again, it's getting through the wrinkles of, how it's going to work on a massive scale and the biggest thing I believe with Elon, when they made that huge Bitcoin purchase last year for Bitcoin, there was no real exchange up to that point that you could actually make a purchase of that many and that much Bitcoin at one time, which was
like 1.5 billion or something.
Yeah, I'll say hundreds of millions or $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Like before that there wasn't that much on one exchange where they could purchase that amount. But now, it's all shifting. The funny story real quick of that, I was first introduced, I was on a plane going back to Buffalo in 2013 for a rugby alumni weekend. And some guy sits next to me and my buddy, and he starts talking to us about crypto, or about not crypto, about Bitcoin. Because people think crypto means Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is one piece of crypto, one very small piece, but it was the first. So in 2013, I believe you could get one Bitcoin for, it was about $100. So $100.
If we could only go back in time.
Right. So, for those that are listening, don't know anything about it or whatever, Bitcoin today, roughly it's down. It's about $39,000 for one Bitcoin.
The peak was what, 60, 55?
69.
Wow.
69,000. We're down to about 39 and people are freaking out. I'm like, it went from 100 in 2000.
It's 50% off. This is where you load up the truck.
This is when you back the truck up. You keep, and again, it's the long play. They call Bitcoin digital gold. It's a store of value, meaning like gold, you don't buy your gold to go melt it down to go make necklaces or whatever. You buy it because you have excess amount of cash that you want to put into an asset that's over time is increasing, versus put it into the bank and it just sits there and it
inflation eats it up anyway.
I'll say it actually devalues over time because of inflation. But crypto being the digital gold, Bitcoin being digital gold, over time, if you're looking at a 10-year, 15, 20-year play, it's going to be exponential growth within that space, and then all the other coins and everything else that's out there. It's fascinating, man. Like I said, I could talk for days about this.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded by really intelligent people, where you're the average of the people around you. So when you have all these smart people, you're semi-intelligent as well. I remember probably 5 or 6 years ago, all my friends were getting into it and telling me. And at that point, I think it was $5,000 US for one Bitcoin. And I remember asking, does it make sense for me to just buy one Bitcoin for $6,000? They're like, yes. And then you look now and it's gone up to like 70,000. So luckily I was able to get in pretty early, of no credit to myself, but
but it's, and again, it's what I said, you just got to get in, you got to just jump in. And for those that are listening, know nothing about it again, or the ones that know a little bit about it, you don't have to buy one Bitcoin, which is 39,000 right now. You could start with $100 worth of Bitcoin. So you buy a piece of a Bitcoin, and, as I teach, it's like, it's all about percentages at that point. So if you bought $100 worth and it goes up 100%, it's gone up 100%. If you bought $10,000 worth and it goes up 100%, it still has gone up 100%. So it's a percentages of up and down. And, since then there's roughly, it changes daily. I mean, every day there's new coins that are created. So it's roughly like 10,000 different coins now. How many are going to make it for the longevity? Probably, 200 of those, 200 of the 10,000. And there's going to be more that come and go. And, it's, when you're looking at this stuff, you're looking at, use case. What can you use it for? 2, how long has it been around? So there's only a handful that have been around for 10 plus years. Bitcoin, actually Dogecoin, and XRP. I believe those are the only three that have been around for 10 years.
How long is it Ethereum? That's one you hear about a lot.
2017.
Oh, that's not that long.
No. So, but with Ethereum versus Bitcoin, so they say Bitcoin or Ethereum is digital silver if you look at them in the store of values. But Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin's performance since its inception, meaning if Bitcoin went up 200% over last year, Ethereum went up more than 200%.
Yeah.
And the year before.
The introduction of Bitcoin took a lot longer to hit mass than Ethereum.
Right? Correct. And they do different things. So Bitcoin is truly a store of value. Ethereum has its coin, which is a store of value, but also has the platform, which everything is built on, which is like the internet. So on it, you have everything being built from, like I said, decentralized finance. So the banks are built on it. The wallets, where you hold and store all your money, those wallets are built on it. NFTs, they're all built on Ethereum. There's every play on it is the gaming, all the new websites and everything is built on Ethereum. And it's, start paying attention.
It's exciting.
Just dive in, and it's exciting. Bitcoin, what was the Bitcoin Millionaires? Good book.
Okay. Yeah, they talk about Bitcoin billionaires.
My bad. Yeah. Bitcoin Billionaires. Fascinating book.
The Winklevoss twins that were a part of the social, the social network, but Facebook. Can you believe it? They're at the start of Facebook, and they're at the start of crypto.
Have you read that book?
No.
Read it. Put it down, because it's super fascinating. You get to learn a whole lot more about them. They're fascinating. And if you've only watched the Facebook and the Mark Zuckerberg, depiction of the Winklevoss twins, you think that these guys are like, not very bright, or they're
bullies or dummies.
Bullies or trying, whatever you want. Well, you got to remember who wrote that and who. So when you hear their side of the story, and then, like you said, they started Facebook, and then they, got bought out, kicked out, basically took their money, and literally they became VCs, venture capitalists, and nobody would take their money. They get right down to the last interview of like, okay, we're going to sign the deal with you. And then they would walk. They'd be like, no. Well, long story short, everything that they were trying to build, these companies, their companies were going to be put on the Facebook platform. They were building these games, whatever it is, for Facebook. They found out where they were getting their money, and they're like, no way, we're not taking you if you go with the Winklevoss twins. So then they got introduced to Bitcoin when they were on vacation and trying to figure out what they're going to do. And someone came up to them in Ibiza and was like, we want to tell you of this whole cryptocurrency concept of what's going on. Blew their mind. Then they just started buying up as much Bitcoin as they possibly could across the board. And they started their own exchange called Gemini. Read the book. It's fascinating. Then there's several other ones that just blow your mind.